Hi there, I'm Itabarak from TechTube. Sorry for the late post. Today I brought you a new video on Iclone, a simple tutorial on how to bring Mixamo motion files through 3dxchange 7 and Iclone 7, and how to simply remove a sliding problem while adding another motion clip right away to the previous motion. So let's get started. Now I have a character made by the character creator 3 using Heisha plugin from a single photo that I've had, and also I loaded some closed templates and give them a little edit in Photoshop. Adding this kind of numbers, which are Ethiopian numbers. So it's as simple as pie in order to add textures, images into a dedicated clause only using Photoshop while you are in character creator 3. I have also a point light attached to my character. Whenever my character is moving, it goes along with it. So let's deactivate this light first. You can see here that whenever I'm moving my character, it goes with it. So in order to have such kind of effect, go to your scene and choose your point light and go to modify, and then under the linkage you got to pick your parent. So pick your parent, the bone root. So the light is attached to the bone root, so whenever you are moving your character, it goes with it. For now, we're going to combine 3 motions: walk motion, stand motion, and basic jump motion. So we're going to apply these 3, but before that you gotta hit F3 and make sure that there's no motion in your timeline. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add the first motion, but before that we have to be on the very first beginning of our keyframe. Now go to the content tab and you will have this animation icon right here, and then go to motion, then CC mix move for the male, then find walk start. Now we've fully loaded our motion into our character so that we can edit it now. Here, let's slide it back a little bit. We also have our motion loaded into our timeline, and we can see it right here by pressing F3, the hotkey. So you can zoom in or zoom out using Alt plus scroll button. And here we have to put our cursor at the end of the first motion, since we want to add another simple jumping motion, standing motion. Here we loaded the standing motion perfectly aligned after the first motion. Let's close our timeline for now and see the scene. Alright, perfectly aligned for now, but the main question lies here. What if we want our character got to stay right here in this frame in this second? So we got to do a little modification in our timeline into the motion. So hit F3 and activate the timeline, and let we break it at 492 frame. Now you can break the motion in the right frame with the break icon, and let's zoom a little bit so that we can delete the part that we don't need. Good. So let's slide a little bit to align the 2 motions together. Alright, so let's see if there is a sliding problem. Let's zoom it a little bit so that we can see, and let's drag it back to the first motion so that we can see the transition. Now that my moves, the right leg pinned and slides in order to stand. Before doing anything, first let's observe where both motions have the same movement. In here, in the standing motion, in the very beginning, we can see that the right foot is pinned to the floor and the left is lifted. Now the trick is we have to find the same movement like we have in the walking motion. Unfortunately, we have the same movement at the last keyframe of the first movement. It's just around 492 keyframe, so we have all done. Now let's drag the second motion and put it consecutively with the first motion. Here the one we have is a transition period. If there is no transition period, the movement will be applied just after the first motion, which can't be real. So we need a transition period indeed. Now the trick is we have to make a keyframe in the very first beginning of the second motion by double clicking in the transform area. And again, we have to create another keyframe in the very first beginning of the second motion. Now use the move tool. If it's not activated, use W key and you can activate it. Now the sliding is to the forward direction, so we got to make the move to the other side. And we have to move, we have to slide it until we get the right spot. Here it's all about trying and try hard in order to get the right spot. It's all about trying, and we have to slide it back a little bit so that we can get the desired place. Now we've got the right place after trying a little bit. More or less, we've got some real cool looking than the previous one. So always you got to remember that you have to find the right position where you want to join the two motions, and if you have to get out, get a spot, just break it, then create two frames, one in the very beginning of the transition and the other one is in the very beginning of the motion itself, and slide it and just adjust it with your move tools. The sliding problem will be over. Now we can apply Mixamo motion, import it into 3dxchange, and then we can send it to an Iclone directly. Now let's add a simple standing jumping motion. We have here our 3dxchange, and I have here a Mixamo motion pack, around 2500 motions I got here. Now we're going to add a simple jumping, which is standing and jump. So let's drag it directly to our 3dxchange. In here we get the box right here, so you have to make sure that import animation is selected and smooth curve is selected, and hit OK. And say yes to whatever comes after. Now say yes and OK, all positive here. Now we've fully loaded our motion. In here we've got a lot of options right here under the animation tab, selected, and we can preview. Here we have apply to Iclone option, but before sending it to an Iclone, we have to go back to the Iclone and select the character that the motion is going to be applied, and then we can come back and say apply to Iclone. Now we loaded our motion into our character, hit F3 to see it in the timeline, and we don't want the standing motion to take that much time, so we gotta break it. and we got to align the last motion to the standing motion consecutively. Let's close the timeline so that we can see the scene. That's good for now. And we can slow down a little bit the jump, and to do that we have the option right here saying speed, the forward and backward arrow inside a box. So if you want to slow down the motion, we can buy time sliding it out or just to the right. If you want to make it with a speed or a time lapse, we can slide it inwards. Now let's just do the slow-mo. I just want the slow-mo to be applied to the whole motion of the jump, so we can drag it over the whole motion to the right. So let's see the effect. Now we have the walking and stand for a little second, and lastly the jump with the slow-mo. Boom. If you want to make the slow-mo in a limited frame, not for the whole scene of the jump, you can go there and you can break where you want to add the slow-mo, so it will be very easy to apply. Today we saw how to overcome sliding problems while applying two motions, one right after the other, and how to import Mixamo motion to 3dxchange and then apply it to Iclone directly. That's it. I'll be releasing a short scene and we'll see together how to do it really soon. If you like the video, give thumbs up, and if you're not a member yet, subscribe and hit the bell icon to be kept posted. Thank you.